'Cause I got a peaceful, easy feeling, and I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground.
Dan, RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a phenomenal day, and I am as well. It's been really, really cool. A lot of good stuff going on. Trying to pop out another video, so hopefully this kind of helps, and, you know, let's see what happens, right? Just giving it a go. I am calling this one Meditate Those Distractions Away. Oh, yes, that's right. And the reason I say this is because, one, I'm noticing a lot of these things in my own life, so I'm like, well, this might be a good topic. But two, I think we're bombarded with these things on a lot of levels. So I'm going to cover this a couple ways. First, I got a couple awesome quotes from Einstein, or at least they're accredited to Einstein. I wasn't there when he said them, so I'm not really 100% sure it was actually Einstein. But hey, it had his name stamped after it, so what the heck. But one thing and this is about technology and stuff like that, which I think is very, very cool. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. Meaning, like, technology's gone further than we're even spiritually capable of dealing with. Like, we're almost not responsible enough spiritually to have this kind of technology. It's almost kind of backwards at this point. We need to really kind of revert back and get our spiritual levels kind of lifted, and then technology can actually probably benefit us far greater than it currently does. And another huge quote that he's famous for is, "The significant problems we face today cannot be solved with the same level of thinking we were at when we created them." I think that's also equally important because we're not going to solve any of today's problems with yesterday's thinking. We need to truly be looking ahead, thinking differently, thinking ahead, and planning. And so there's a few things I'm going to get into. Some of this might be a little, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to kind of start it off that way. First off, Peaceful Easy Feeling, Eagles, great band, love them. And we're going to go out with I Melt With You by Modern English. So that's the radio style portion that we're all fond of. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is kind of how we get our energies kind of messed up in life, right? They get a little discombobulated, right? We've got all these different things that are constantly, that's not cool, constantly messing with us, and it screws with our energy in a very, very significant fashion. And because of that, we need to find a way to kind of help get ourselves centered back down before we start the days. At least in my opinion. You can do it at the end of the day too, but I'm kind of thinking more at the beginning of the day is a really, really good time, but wherever you can find time, middle of the day is even great. So we're going to get into some of the specifics. But when we think about a lot of the electromagnetic things that can really screw with our auras, screw with our energy, screw with our actual electromagnetic fields within our own bodies, because we are electromagnetic as well as chemical and a few other things, right? So we're kind of complex beings, you know? So there are a lot of things out there that studies have been shown actually do affect our energy, our auras, and really just our health for a big purpose. Wi-Fi, for example, they've done studies, and it's Denmark, I want to say, where it was really famous. And again, you can find for every study I demonstrate that these things are kind of bad for you. I guarantee you can find 5 times as many studies that suggest the opposite. Whatever we look for, we're going to find examples of. But I will also say that anything that speaks poorly of technologies that have gotten the green light, if you will, by the powers that are looking out for us, they do all sorts of crazy studies, and oftentimes if you look at who's doing the studies, a lot of times it's the companies themselves that are actually creating this technology are the ones doing their own policing. So believe it, don't believe it, that's not what I'm here to try to prove or disprove. I'm just saying I definitely am going to cite some studies. There's 34 studies, in fact, that I found on one awesome article that have been done over the years. So those will be in the show notes underneath in the video. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I at least did some homework here. But Wi-Fi, they did a study where they tried to grow some plants right next to the Wi-Fi device and then a plant in 2 rooms away or something like that. And they found that these seeds did not properly grow or even died when they were located next to the Wi-Fi. So something kind of crazy going on there. Not great energy, right? And a lot of us, I've got a Wi-Fi just sitting over here behind me. This room, I got a TV in here. I got this monitor right here. All of these things are not real groovy for energy. But I will say in my house, this is the only room where I have all this junk. I've taken the TV out of my living room. It's actually just got a table with a bunch of crystals on it, and it's a very, very groovy environment. It's kind of my little meditation area. But we've also got microwaves, we've got fluorescent lights, we've got all these different TVs, all this different technology that's bombarding us with energy waves that aren't necessarily good for us. And on top of all that, and I think this is really one of the key ones, so whether or not you want to debate the electromagnetism portions of the technologies that are out there and how good or bad they are for us. All right, whatever. But the parts of us that I think we, one, have a lot more control over, and two, I think are also just as detrimental to our energy, is when we get into discussions with people about politics, for example, or we maybe get in fights with our family because we disagree with them on one thing or the other, or we're mad at what so-and-so did, or whatever the case is. Or maybe when we flip on the news and watch the news. That has a lot of negative energy. Even the commercials, for that matter, are constantly bombarding us with our self-image isn't good enough. We need this, that, and the other thing to actually be okay. You need to get out, you need to work harder so you can buy more stuff and get the newest iPhone and get the newest whatever, newest Android or whatever the heck's on the market. All these things are really, again, energies that are not benefiting us in the big picture. Now, of course, the ideal thing would be to not behave in these ways, not watch the news, not necessarily watch TV, not have Wi-Fi going all the time, not get in arguments with your family about some minutia that really doesn't matter in the big picture. But a lot of us do kind of get dragged into some of these conversations sometimes. So what are you going to do, right? Well, here's what I'm thinking we should do. Put a little time every day. Me, myself, it's in the morning. But a little time every day. Maybe throw on some non-distracting music. Maybe find a quiet place. One place that I recommend, it's where I do it in the morning, and it's just, there's a double effect going on, but it's the shower. The shower is a great place to meditate. One, you've kind of got a steady, constant noise, which is sort of soothing in its own right. But two, the water acts as if, like, it's a kind of a baptismal effect, if you will. It sort of washes over our auras, and actually, believe it or not, actually helps kind of purify and cleanse and get us back to a healthy state. You can get into nature. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe there's a park up the street. Maybe you want to walk the dog up there and tired of something and sit there on the bench and just, do whatever. Or sometimes even crystals. You get a couple crystals. Like I said, I've got a table full of them, and it's a really awesome area and energy in that particular room. And even, just to borrow one of the old kind of adages that were super famous back in the day, but the old ah-oom. The very noise vibrating through your body actually creates sort of healing and better energy, and actually just kind of benefits us all in a large way. So it kind of is a good way to battle all these crazy energies that are out there and thrown at us on a regular basis, some of which we can control, some kind of just happen upon us randomly, and I don't know, some are in between, right? Some of them we could probably walk away from, some of them we make the mistake of making that comment to the individual that we know is going to set them off. We're like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that. We make those mistakes. This is how we learn. Kind of like I said in my last show. Sometimes you need to choose who you're going to have these conversations with, and oftentimes even really the words you're going to use and how you're going to phrase them. And it makes an enormous difference in the big picture. Meditate these distractions away. I think it's a huge way to kind of help get our energies grounded, get us bound, get us ready for the day, kind of wipe away some of the stuff that's already happened, quiet the mind, right? Give us our chance just to kind of receive and let things happen. And then from there, go out and deal with the day, deal with your kids, deal with your spouse, deal with the grocery store, deal with driving kids around from soccer practice to debate club to whatever the heck they're involved in. Be that strength in their lives, but also be that example to all the people that you deal with, because oftentimes they'll be like, how are you so calm? How do you do this? Well, that's kind of how it works. And this is one of the many reasons why I'm trying to get out there and sort of help show these things to people. Give you a couple tools. Maybe who knows what you can do with it. It's Dan RadioStyle. Hope you enjoy. Please contact me at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. And also please subscribe. And if you like what I'm doing, I would really love it if you would share my videos with friends and try to get them to subscribe. It's a big way to try to get more of these types of videos occurring. I'm not trying to sell any products, but I'm certainly trying to help all of us enhance our energies so we can make a difference in the world. Thanks so much for joining me.
I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the